Okay, there we go. All right, hello everyone. Okay, there we go. No, this is not a Mr. Beast casino scam. This is Sparklink Development Studios live Q&A and development live stream. No, this is Sparklink Development Studios live Q&A and development live stream. So I'm going to be putting this smaller and pulling up this. There we go. Sparklink Development Studios live Q&A and development live stream. So I'm going to be putting this smaller. Pulling up this. There we go. Uh-oh, there's an echo. Hold on, let me turn that down. There. So this is the current state of chambers 2 and 3. I'm going to be working on those during this stream. Going to be adding more of these little hanger things for detail and adjusting some of the placement of the fire alarms because I got some feedback on that and it's not exactly safe if you can shoot fire alarms off the wall. Hold on, let me move this down so that you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. So if you all have any questions about the project or about just me in general, please feel free to ask. I can answer those. So when I first got into mapping, that was several years ago, I was making custom Portal 2 chambers. I really liked the behind-the-scenes aesthetic of Portal 2, and I wanted to see if I could recreate those on my own. And then I saw this video by Davey Gunface, and that is what ultimately inspired to make Portal, but it's OSHA compliant. So I've been doing this for about a year before I started Portal, but it's OSHA compliant. But I've learned a lot about game development through making this project, so it wasn't all like I wasn't very good at it before this. Yeah, I agree. The environment in Portal 2, it just feels so like retro futuristic. I don't like I guess that's the best way to describe it. But I really like the aesthetic of it. So much so that I used some of the aesthetic from Portal 2 in Portal but it's OSHA compliant for these backstage areas. Specifically, these air ducts are actually backported from Portal 2, these metal beams, and of course the wall textures. And a little fun fact about this floor texture here, this is actually the only custom texture that has made it all the way from the beginning of development to now. I mean, no one is gonna stop you from setting them on fire. I highly wouldn't recommend it because that would be a violation of fire safety, and you would probably get in a lot of trouble with Aperture and also with the law. But if you are that dead set on doing it, I'm not gonna stop you. Here, I can set the air ducts on fire for you right now, actually. There you go. Yeah, one of the fun things about making your own game is that you can do whatever you want. You can just mess around in the map editor if you want. I've done that a few times. I have quite a few developer-only maps in here that are very much not intended for the public to see. But I think the best demo of that would be this one here called turrettown.vmf, which is literally just all this turrets. Here's the texturing for the turrets. Actually, they look they're blue now. You're blue now, said Papyrus. My apologies if you hear any sniffling. I do have some allergies going on right now. Yeah, for Portal, but it's OSHA compliant. It's a lot like that too. You really just work on a blueprint, because you start with the main map, and a lot of the challenge for this is just building out the backstage areas behind the level. So if I do this, you can see here's the original level, and here's all the backstage areas. Go all the way over here and up, and then here's the other chamber up above. And then this area is a little Easter egg area. You can't actually get into here, but it's a scrapped concept. And same with behind this wall. There's actually a large empty room, and there's no shadows or anything, so this room barely contributes to visibility or the compile time for the map. But you can go in here and explore if you want. What got you into modding? Oh, that is a problem. Hold on. There we go. All right. Let's do the next 7 minutes. Yeah, Gmod is kind of the starting point for everyone, so I've heard. For me, I actually didn't start with Gmod. I didn't start playing Gmod until just a few months ago, actually. Which holy shit, I've been missing out. But I needed, or I started through Portal 2, and I learned that puzzle editor is not ideal for mapping, especially when you're trying to convert your puzzle editor maps into a proper Hammer map. Yeah, Hammer is great. I highly recommend Hammer Plus Plus because it fixes all the big problems that Hammer had. Well, most of them. It still crashes sometimes, but it fixed a lot of the big issues that Hammer had. Because Hammer has not been updated since 2013, and Hammer Plus Plus was updated earlier this year. Yeah, I've been when doing a lot of this mapping, I'm very interested in like behind the scenes mechanical spaces for a lot of buildings. And luckily at my university, there are a lot of unlocked mechanical rooms that are very easy to get into. So I've been using a lot of those for reference for some of these behind the scenes areas, as well as like unfinished hallways, all the exposed piping and framework. I've got quite a few references for all that. What's going on? Oh, I did not copy the entire instruction. It's all right. I've never studied architecture either. Actually, I've been just going purely based on what looks good and what looks right. You got really lucky. You've got a level design course in your college. That's crazy. I need something like that here. The only game development things we have here are in Unreal, I think. Not to say that Unreal isn't good. Unreal is very good. It's just that Source is something special about Source. Yeah, I mean, you should make a mod. It's a really fun, rewarding experience. You can get connected with the community for a game. Um, there's there's a lot of learning experience with it as well. Ultimately, doing Portal Bug's OSHA compliant. As much as I love the popularity of the mod and like the fan base I get behind it, I'm ultimately just doing it for fun. It's a project that I wanted to do, and I wanted to see if I could make my own mod, and so I decided to make my own mod. And I think that it'd be really fun if you could like try that. It's it's not all that difficult. There's not a lot of programming involved. So it's actually pretty easy to get started modding. Like for Source Engine. Should make Half-Life 2, but it's OSHA compliant. That is everything we needed in this room, I think. So right now I am taking these little hanger cable things for the fire suppression pipes, these sprinklers, and I am just copying and pasting these little hook things to hang all these. Because I like the detail of having those things. You can't just have floating fire suppression pipes. You need some way to hold them up, and that is what these are for. And I apologize that things have been a bit slow recently. There's been a lot of stuff going on. I've had summer classes, and also I just went on a vacation, and now we're looking into moving into a new house and packing up, and that is going to be eating a lot of time. But in the short upcoming week or so, I do plan on releasing the next update, which will include the chambers 2 and 3, and also there's going to be some changes made to the original demo based on some feedback I've got, where, for example, the cube dispenser is actually on the correct side of the wall. So I'm going to be right back. I am just going to go get a glass of water. So I will be back in like 2 minutes. Yeah, design is hard. A lot of the things I have to do here is there's two things I gotta blend. I gotta make sure I'm not wasting my time on details, but I also have to make sure that I'm not just leaving behind little details that would be very easy to fix. Like this little hanger thing here, I don't like the way it sticks into the grate on the floor. It kind of looks like it's hovering, even though from the bottom it looks fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a cross beam here that goes all the way across and supports that. To do that, I'm going to find, where's my little pipe thing? There it is. I've heard of Godot. I've heard of Godot. I haven't tried it, but I've heard it's really good. Would you recommend it? And anything is better than Unity. Unity is hellish to work with because they use a whole bunch of weird, like proprietary systems that make it so that you can only use Unity. Like their animator system is really weird. I've had to learn that system for work in VRChat. There we go. I need a surface to put on this, which I think that looks good. What's Boneworks? I have not heard of that before. There, can y'all tell me how this looks here? I've added this little metal beam to hold up the fire sprinkler here. Actually, I wish this were a bit more symmetrical. And Half-Life 2 is good. I've played Half-Life 2. I mean, I never finished it because I just kind of got busy with other stuff, but it is a fun game. I like the physics mechanics, so I think I would. Yeah, I think I'd like Bone Lab. I have VR, so I can try that out. I was just asking like how it looks in general. I it just I wanted to have something to support this so that this doesn't just like go up directly into the grating here. I wanted to have a surface for it to hit. Let's see, it should go down by 1. There we go. All right, well, that was almost 5 minutes spent working on this one little detail here that almost nobody will ever appreciate. But I like to keep things. I mean, like I said, ultimately this is something that I'm doing for me, so I can do whatever I want. Well, I believe that is all the fire suppression inside. I'm gonna quickly adjust the fire alarms that are out in the main area. There should not be any accessible to the white walls, because then someone could shoot a portal behind one of them and shoot it off the wall. We don't want that. See here, I put metal walls on so that this fire alarm can't be shot off the wall with a portal. Same with this one. Although I think this could look better. I'm going to take this and split it vertically. Where is it? There it is. All right, now I can do that. And then for these, I can use this wall. There. Actually, these are a bit. Oh wait, no, that's okay. Yeah, those are fine. It's just blending with the trigger here. All right, this area has 0 fire suppression at all. That is not OSHA compliant. We need to fix that. To do that, I'm going to start. There's my pipe ceiling here. All of them going into this room. Like I mentioned before, there's nothing actually in here. I'm going to go down the elevator shaft into here and grab some of my fire sprinkler and pipe models, just so that I have them all in one place. And drop them there. Okay, now I need to map out the fire suppression system this is the stairway down. Then we probably have one pipe coming out of this riser here, which goes that way. And pops out the other side of this wall here. And then keeps going down the edge of the chamber over here. Actually, I think it would make more sense if it went up here. All right, so I am gonna briefly playtest this, and then I think I am going to have to head out. It has been about an hour. That was about as long as I planned to run the stream, but I will first give this a playtest and demonstrate what the actual development pipeline looks like here. Actually, I think I may have just crashed Hammer. Yep, okay.
In this chamber, you will receive the Aperture Science handheld portal device. Please proceed to the main chamber.
There's those things. Some of the fire alarms you can't actually use. They're...
Excellent. You are now in possession of the Aperture Science handheld portal device. As you learned in the prerequisite training course, it can be used to open a portal at any location.
So there's more dialogue that's supposed to play after that gives you lines very similar to GLaDOS's lines that say, like, do not look at the operation line of the device and all that. And for some reason, Aster will not play her voice lines there. I'm still looking into that issue. I'm trying to see what's going on. I believe it is a VCD file that did not save properly after I finished it. But I'm not entirely sure. I just had a major issue with my computer. It had to restore everything from a backup. So that may have messed some things up. I don't know, but it shouldn't be too hard to fix. Making the audio... Worst case scenario, I just need to remake the audio, and that doesn't take too long. So yeah, that is Portal, but it's OSHA compliant. I am Sparklink Development Studios, and I had a great time. I hope you did. And I will see you all around.